Symbols are a language that can help us understand our past. How do we penetrate years of historical distortion?
Yeah, I wasn't really dead.
A secret so powerful that if revealed, it could devastate mankind. What will be worth killing for? Witness the biggest cover-up in human history.
Dad, this is amazing. If you play this backwards, it says Paul is dead.
Yeah, I know.
I'm into something here I can't understand.
Thanks to the Da Vinci Code, millions or billions of people are now familiar with the idea that the great Renaissance master Leonardo da Vinci embedded hidden messages in his works, like Mary Magdalene sitting at the right hand of Jesus at a seemingly grail-less Last Supper. And if you've read the non-fiction work the Da Vinci Code is based on, The Holy Blood and the Holy Grail, you will know that the 17th century French painter Poussin also holds many keys to the Grail mystery in his work, particularly in his masterpiece, The Shepherds of Arcadia, a painting which contains embedded within a landscape in the south of France. But do the great artworks of the 20th century also include hidden messages? The answer is yes.
What about Paul spelled out on the Sgt. Pepper's album, the guitar, in flowers?
That's the fountains of that kind of guitar there.
Yes.
On the grave.
Yes, it is a grave.
Now that we know it's a grave, what else can we find out about the Sgt. Pepper's cover? Let's start at the very middle, with the drum. Looking at the codex provided in the CD's liner notes, we find that the drum skin was designed by somebody named Joe F. Grave. The only problem is, there doesn't appear to actually be anyone by that name. Could F. Grave just be a Leninistic play on words, like those inspired by John's favorite author, Lewis Carroll? F. Grave breaks down into F and grave, and we know it's a grave, but what about F? F, EPH, could just be a shortened form of the word epitaph, and the drum skin does, in fact, bear a stunning resemblance to the epitaph of Lewis Carroll, inscribed on his memorial plaque inside Westminster Abbey. Both have the artist's nom de plume on the outside of the circle, but the inside contains the true epitaph. However, to read the epitaph on the inside of the Pepper drum skin, we must truly go through the looking glass. For when you put a looking glass, a mirror, on the middle of the drum skin, an epitaph emerges. Look, on the right, it says, "He died." Who died? Follow the arrow. Paul died. But any good epitaph needs a date. Does the drum skin epitaph have a date? Let's look. We see 1, in the Roman numeral 9. That's 11/9. He died. 11/9. In Britain means 11 September. Meanwhile, back at the grave, we see Shiva, the Hindu goddess of destruction, and rebirth points one hand at the old Paul and one hand at the new Paul. Was Paul McCartney really destroyed and reborn? The pictures tell the story. Unretouched photos from the 1966 Butcher photo session and from the 1967 Sgt. Pepper's photo session show two totally different men playing the role of Paul McCartney. The faces just don't add up. Even the most rudimentary intelligence should be able to tell the difference. It's called facial recognition.
Out of the 500,000 people in the database, facial recognition found me as the top match to myself, which is exactly what it's supposed to do. But how does it do it?
What it's seeing is the actual internal structure of your face, how your face is aligned versus all the different characteristics on your face.
Key immobile facial features, such as the two eye sockets, are lined up to compare two photographs. If other facial features don't match up, you're looking at photos of two different people. And here, when lining up the inside of the right eye with the bridge under the nose, we can see that the 1968 Paul McCartney has a much thinner face than the 1964 Paul McCartney. And when we equalize the size of the Hofner bass guitar in two photos, we see that the replacement was a rather larger man than the original James Paul McCartney. But enough science. Let's get back to cracking